Our next story is about Trump, Putin and the fate of the Ukraine war. After days of cozying up to Vladimir Putin in sharp contrast to US policy on Russia in a way, Trump is angry with the Russian president. You heard that right. The US president is furious and he is making that very well known. In fact, in an interview with America's NBC News, the US president has said that he is, quote-unquote, pissed off with Putin's approach to the ceasefire. Trump, remember, is pushing for Ukraine and Russia to swiftly agree to a ceasefire deal. He has warned that he will slap 25 to 50% tariffs on buyers of Russian oil if Moscow keeps blocking the peace talks with Ukraine. Trump's comments marking a huge shift from the way Trump usually speaks about the Russian leader, and he has also ramped up the rhetoric against Russia as Ukraine continues to suffer from one after the other deadly attack from Russia. Just look at what's happening on the ground in the battlefield. It's still on fire even as Trump's efforts to get both Kiev and Moscow to the talking table continue. The fighting on the ground continues as well. On Monday, in fact, the Russian army claimed to have taken another village in the Kursk region. The Russian Defense Ministry released video footage said to be from Gogolevka, which the ministry said the Russian army had recaptured from the Ukrainian forces. Last Friday, remember, Russia had accelerated a push to try to drive Ukrainian forces out of Kursk. Putin also visited Kursk this month itself in a sign of increasing confidence that Russia will win it back and deprive Ukraine from a bargaining chip in the future peace talks. That is what this is all about. Earlier in the day itself, reports said that Russia had attacked the Ukrainian city of Kharkiv for a second consecutive night. The attack reportedly injured 3 people, sparking fires at industrial buildings and damaging 2 kindergartens. The state emergency of Ukraine released footage on Monday showing firefighters putting out fires in destroyed buildings. The attack on Kharkiv, which is Ukraine's second largest city, lasted most of the night. The Ukrainian Air Force also said that it shot down dozens of the hundreds of drones that were launched by Russia during the overnight attack. Russia also is said to have used 2 Iskander-M ballistic missiles in the attack. A day ago, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky had claimed that Russia hit Ukraine with more than 1,000 drones over the span of 1 week. Citing Russia's continued fighting, Zelensky once again called for a response from the US and other allies. Meanwhile, Russia accused Ukraine of attacking its energy facilities and breaking the energy truce that the 2 countries have agreed upon. On Sunday, the Russian Ministry of Defense said that its forces destroyed 140 Ukraine's manpower and equipment concentrations in 140 areas over the past day. The Russian forces also struck a temporary deployment point for security service of Ukraine units with missile, destroying 170 Ukrainian militants and foreign mercenaries. But that's not all. The Russian forces also claim to have seized control of 1 settlement in Zaporizhia, and these are just the latest in a string of attacks on the battleground. So what will Russia's next move be? Putin has already called for the complete annihilation of Ukraine. His forces are making a final push on the battleground. How much more can Ukraine endure? The way things stand, Ukraine's best chances are in the deal being worked out between Russia and the United States. And Trump's threat seems to have worked, because on Monday, after Trump's threat to sanction Russia, the Kremlin said that Russia and the United States were working on a possible peace settlement in Ukraine. And the Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said that the Russian president remains open to contact with Trump and that a call between them could be set up at short notice if necessary, though no call has been scheduled for this week. Peskov also said that some American companies had shown interest in a joint rare earth metals project in Russia, but cautioned that such discussions were still at an early stage. The Myanmar earthquake toll has crossed the 2,000 mark. Hundreds are still missing. Thousands have been injured. The deadly 7.7 magnitude earthquake, which had the epicenter in Myanmar's Sagaing region, also hit Thailand, leaving at least 19 dead. Myanmar declared a 7-day mourning period. Hope is fading as rescuers race against time to look for survivors. Our next report telling you more.
Declaration of National Mourning Days in order to pay tribute to the casualties and loss of people hit by the 7.7 magnitude earthquake on March 28, 2025, the state declares 7 days of national mourning from March 31st, 2025 to April 6th, 2025. The national flag will be lowered to half-mast during the week.
Buildings, roads and bridges completely decimated. Hospitals overwhelmed with patients. Rescue teams struggle to extract and save people trapped in rubble. These are some of the scenes from present-day Myanmar, which is reeling under one of the worst destructions in recent times. Myanmar's second largest city, Mandalay, was among the worst hit. Rescue teams are racing against time to find out for survivors as hope fades. After being trapped for 65 hours under the rubble, this woman was rescued by Chinese rescuers. So was this pregnant woman who made it alive out of the debris, making her the third survivor saved by rescuers in a day. And there are more.
Currently in front of the Sky Villa in the city of Mandalay. This is the third survivor rescued and saved by China Search and Rescue Team, as well as Ram Rescue Union.
Footage shows extensive road cracks, with drivers carefully navigating around rubble and debris. If the earthquake itself wasn't scary enough, powerful aftershocks of 6.7 magnitude over the weekend forced residents to sleep outdoors.
I was stuck under debris. I got hit to my waist and my hand got chopped. It took long hours for rescuers to pull me out as my hand was pulled slowly out of rubble. Then things fall down on me just after I was escaped. I was lucky for my life.
The scale of devastation is equally alarming in neighboring Thailand, where a 30-story building under construction in Bangkok came crashing down as the quake hit the area, killing at least 19. The collapsed building was intended to be the new headquarters of Thailand's State Audit Office. Thai officials are currently investigating the metal and steel parts taken from the construction site to determine the cause of the collapse. After Thailand's Prime Minister visited the site and ordered for an investigation to be opened. The reason why it invites added scrutiny is because the skyscraper was being built by a joint venture that included a Chinese firm. This has also prompted questions about construction standards, which were being followed in the area, both in Myanmar and Thailand. The large-scale death and devastation due to structural failure has raised alarm regarding the state of infrastructure in the two nations, dotted by high-rise building and skyscrapers. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
And our next story is about Elon Musk. He has said that his company Neuralink will restore blind person's sight with a new brain chip by the end of this year. You heard that right. Musk says that his company Neuralink has planned on implanting its new brain chip called blind sight into a human patient for the first time in late 2025. Now, here's why this matters. Neuralink is working quietly on Musk's most advanced technologies, brain chips. The company, in fact, is working on a brain chip that could potentially restore full sight for someone who is completely blind. It has already conducted animal tests and it has been doing clinical trials since 2024. Musk's announcement will be the first major step towards widespread usage of Neuralink. During an event in Wisconsin, Musk said that animal trials for the new brain chip had been successful. He said that the monkeys with the implant were healthy. According to Musk, the animal trials showed great promise, as a result of which they are hoping to do first device implant for a human this year itself. And if successful, it would be huge. We are talking about giving someone who is completely blind eyes to see the world. According to Musk, it will start off low resolution, but over time, with use, the implant will enable vision that, in his words, is superhuman. Now, it seems his company is already moving towards trademark. Musk's statement coming in a few days after Neuralink filed for trademarks for the term blindsight. But that's not all. Neuralink has also filed trademarks for the words telepathy and telekinesis. The first Neuralink brain implant was carried out last year itself, in January 2024. 3 patients were given what Neuralink likes to call telepathic control over body parts that they previously had been unable to move due to disabilities. Neuralink is yet to specify a timeline for the rollout of the blindsight chip, but just to be sure, several rounds of testing of the technology will be done before this new technology becomes widely accessible for use.